Can the Eagles win a playoff game without Jalen Hurts?
I think they can, Joy. Now, today's Tuesday. Today's an off day, typically in the National Football League. So he's got some more time. If you told me that he's still in concussion protocol on Friday, then I'd say, okay, he's probably not going to play. I don't know if he is or if he isn't, but let's assume he's not going to play. Can Kenny Pickett get the job done? Yes, because you got Saquon Barkley, you got A.J. Brown, you got Dallas Goedert, you got the defense, you got Smith. I mean, you got players, and I think he's good enough to get past the Green Bay Packers. At home, I think he doesn't have to duel with Jordan Love because you got that dude behind him, number 26. You turn around, hand him the football, he can go for 200 yards on you and get you a couple touchdowns. So I do think for one game, Kenny Pickett can serve them well.
Yeah, I also agree that he can get past the Green Bay game, but only because, like I talked earlier, Christian Watson is out. And, we're praying for him to get healthy with the ACL because he's such a deep threat. And you're going to need big plays. Philadelphia, they're going to be able to run the ball, even though without Jalen Hurts. That's a different run game without Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different run game. But they got two beasts at wide, and they're just asking Kenny Pickett, you don't have to be perfect. Just get it somewhere out in the area code, and those guys can make the play. So, yeah, they can win in one game. Not run. They can win one game. That's what you're asking this question.
Who they playing?
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers.
And y'all think they can beat the Packers?
Well, the Packers are without one of their main weapons on the offensive side of the ball, so that negates some of their passing.
I'm just saying, like, when the playbook is cut in half, and this is what we talk about, the playbook cut in half for a playoff game versus the Green Bay Packers, like, yeah, I know y'all saying that. They've lost to all the top teams. They've lost to Philly, Minnesota, Detroit. But listen, they all been one-score games. One-score games. And this is a team that's scary. They got run. What do you say, Key? The way they play travels.
Yeah,
they can run the ball.
It is.
They can pass the ball, and they're dangerous. They're young, nothing to lose. This is a game I feel like if Jalen Hurts is not there, they can lose this game. We said the same thing last year. I can see this repeating all over again when Green Bay went into Dallas. Dallas was like, we got this. Philly should be like, I got this.
It's going to be a layup. I think it's going to be competitive. But the question was, can Kenny Pickett survive enough to win the game?
Enough reps, and you don't get the plays.
He's been in 3 weeks now. He's good.
Yeah, but this is playoffs.
Former starter, he's good.
Playoffs, though.
He's good.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not.
I love the Eagles.
You would put some money on this game?
Do I want to put some money on it?
Yeah.
I would bet. I'll take Philly. I would bet that for sure. You got to understand what we're talking about here, Paul and Joy.
I mean, but aren't we being a little disrespectful to the Packers?
No, I'm not.
Like they are without Christian Watson, and he's big. Like that is a massive roster.
Averaging like 20 yards a grab.
But they do have their quarterback. Like we're not talking about they're without one of their weapons. They have their quarterback.
Right.
We are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, former All-Pro MVP finalist quarterback not being available.
The thing that Michael said that resonates in all of this is the run game changes slightly for Philadelphia because the RPO game isn't quite there. They don't have to focus in as much on the RPO game because he's not in there.
Right.
But Kenny Pickett, as Michael said again, it's all area code.
Right.
All I need you to do is put it right in this area right here. I'm going to go get it.
That's a big
Just go get it. No, you can do it with two, but I'm just saying, just put it right in that area, and I'm going to go get it.
And he don't have to make a perfect throw.
He don't have to make a perfect throw for them dudes.
And if we lose the RPOs, because they're not all small receivers, when I'm confused, 11 from heaven, here you go. That's it, and he can make that play. So they can absolutely win with Pickett. One game.
One game.
Yeah, one game.
The next round, we're not.
Yeah, because
it
gets thick and tough.
I think the Packers are a really good team, even without Christian Watson, and being without the quarterback is.
We're not saying they're not. Right. We're just saying that he can win one game.
I would like them to be without Jalen Hurts.
But let me tell you why I say. Because I don't think they're efficient enough, the Packers, and they're not explosive without Christian Watson. So now you're going to have to be very efficient to be able to move that ball down the field and are explosive, and you're not going to be able to do it.
Well, if they don't get this done, or if they get not, because Jalen Hurts isn't available. Do they have to win the Super Bowl after denying Saquon a chance at the rushing record?
Well, that's what Paul thinks.
That would be a massive disappointment.
Listen,
right? They didn't let him get it, and this is how it turns out.
Before you go, it would be the most massive disappointment in history. Think about what he left on the table.
Man, come on, Paul.
He left the Russian record on the table.
Come on.
He left being on probably Mount Rushmore of running backs on table.
On,
he
Paul.
probably left the MVP on the table, because how can you say a guy who broke a 40-year-old record cannot be the MVP? So I'm leaving all this. You know what? Let me take this and put it over here, because I lost that. So if they don't win the Super Bowl and you left all that on the table,
Right.
Rushmore,
Right.
MVP.
Right. I'm going to add one. I'm going to add one to you. I'm going to add one more. You could have exercised your demon, dude. Exercise your demon here. You let him get you again. Your whole career has been marred with injuries. And that's why you didn't have the career you wanted with the Giants. Right here, that same bug scared you off this record that you could have faced that demon and said, I let you get the first few years, but I'm facing you right now. Win my record.
Your summer, you don't win the Super Bowl and you left that on the table?
Left it on the table.
You ain't coming outside.
Man,
you ain't going outside.
Come on, man. You should have exercised that. I'm with Paul on this.
Like, man, my head gonna be
and I ain't
down.
get a chance to talk. I'm glad you brought it back up. I wasn't here when y'all talked
They
about it.
have to win the Super Bowl.
They have to.
They have to.
They have to win the Super Bowl regardless.
They have to now even more.
If I'd have got all of this and we didn't go to the Super Bowl, at least I know I got.
Though,
I know I.
So if they didn't let him do this, if they had I'm sorry, they let him do this, he gets all the accolades, everything he's talking about, and they make it to the NFC Championship game and lose, you're okay with it?
I'm going to go home like,
I am.
It's my name in history.
Right.
It's my name in history.
What about the rest of the team?
I appreciate y'all for getting me this. I appreciate y'all. I might buy my teammate something, like a watch or something. I appreciate y'all. I know we didn't go where we wanted to go, but I appreciate y'all helping me get to this level.
But he's an individual basketball player, so everything is individualized.
No, you see me. I bought my teammate something.
You're not
What
going
are you talking
to,
about?
Michael, and you know this. We're not running the risk of that young man.
I
in our
understand
Super
why they
Bowl.
did it.
We're not
understand
doing
why
that.
they did it.
Okay, they got to make it to the Super Bowl regardless.
understand
The Philadelphia Eagles are no different than the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I give Buffalo a little bit of a pass this year because they wasn't expected to do so much, but they're going to be, as we move forward in the future, expected to go and win the Super Bowl literally every single year that the quarterback is the quarterback. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are no different because 2 years ago they were in the Super Bowl. They were like a fumble away from winning the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. Their record indicate that they are a Super Bowl type team.
Yeah.
And they've gone deep, made deep runs into the playoffs. So regardless if he got to 2000 or not, they have to win the Super Bowl and go to the Super Bowl regardless.
Empty-handed on both sides.
Right.
I'm going to be
That's just-
devastated.
I mean,
oh, my gosh. Could you imagine?
We put
Yeah,
on
but
it's not on
imagine
Philly. I wanted
Empty-handed.
something
Look,
happened.
both
Right,
my
I
hands
wanted
is empty.
Saquon to want it bad enough to come out of the selfless role for a moment. That's all I'm talking about, because I wanted him to see all he has gone through in this league that is not going his way has been because of injuries. And I wouldn't let it run their way now. I
So
understand
tough.
what
You have
everybody's saying.
to-
And we got to worry about this, though, Joe, one last thing. Did we break the mentality? Like you see what Detroit looks like because they went in and played San Francisco, and they played them hard. They didn't say, we're going to take off this week.
Right.
And they looking great.
Right.
Philly said, no, we're gonna stop. Let's break that mentality. You're thinking about breaking the record. We're pulling everybody, and I hope they didn't break
But
Detroit had to, though. They had to go and play everybody. Not only did they have to.
Detroit could have lost that game and sat everybody out and still won in Minnesota and been there.
They could have, but they lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Psychologically, you want to walk in there and say, we beat them and we can beat them. Regardless if they go into the playoffs or not, you're not going to see them, but you just want to keep that momentum going.
Psychologically, for sure. But also, we're saying that about the Lions because no one got hurt in that game.
Correct.
So if someone did, we would not be praising Dan Campbell.
Oh, no, he just got hurt.
He got hurt last week.
Yeah,
we would not be praising Dan Campbell and the Lions for making that choice if it worked out. So you're right. Like when the results are ideal, then you get praised for them. If they're not, and somebody gets hurt, then you get criticized, and he would have gotten criticized.
But
their ultimate goal is not to beat the already, out of the playoffs 49ers to prove a point. And you say this all the time. You can't really atone for things in the regular season that have happened in the playoffs.
The one thing we talk about each and every year on this desk is the most important thing going into the playoffs. And the only team that really has that most important thing that we talk about are the Detroit Lions, because they played that game, and it's called momentum going into the playoffs. Every other team has some situations going on going into this playoff. The Detroit Lions are flying into the playoffs. Hence, the odd makers came with Mike. So they know Mike is right.
If Detroit loses in the divisional round, you know how sick you're going to be in the stomach?
I know how much you're going to try to remind me of.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.